Okay, so for video 2, mashallah. Okay, so now we talked about the first Saturn return. Oh, okay, I know where I think I know where it was. Okay, so now the first the child, let's say before the first Saturn return is like the we're going to go in 3 stages of life, right? First Saturn return, second Saturn return, and third Saturn return. Most people don't get the fourth Saturn return, right? Okay, because each Saturn return, I mean, each span of the Saturn is about 29 to 30 years, right? Okay, so now if we're going to take life in 3 stages from let's say from birth to 30, from 30 to anywhere from 60 to 55, or and then from 55 to, or 60 to 90, right? Okay, the first stage is, let's say, the puberty, the child to all the way going through puberty. They're learning, they're growing, they're mentors. Then the second stage, okay, that's when they begin to get take on more adult roles and responsibility for their lives, right? Learning about the cosmos, learning about their celestial self, learning about themselves, okay, what they can contribute to the greater society, right? Okay, through their natal chart, meaning what they can contribute to as to their purpose for being on Earth to society, right? Okay, now, so we said after the first Saturn return, that represents their planetary body, right? The first before Saturn return represents the body. Now we into the planetary body. Okay, so now the first Saturn return serves the intellectual needs, right, and to represent and prepares thyself for the second Saturn return. The act in to and the individual is being prepared to act in the capacity of their celestial body or their celestial house, right? Because the body is an avatar, period. An avatar in the physical world, channeling energy from the celestial realm or the spiritual realm, okay? From channeling energy on a frequency from the celestial world, which they call spiritual, into the physical world through your consciousness, right? Okay, now, that's why it's important to learn about the celestial realm, right? And that's why it's important to know what's going on in this spiritual, the higher dimension, right? The 5th dimension, as we're going to, today, going through the door, right? And there's no going back, right? Okay, so now it prepares the person for the celestial body. Okay, celestial body. Okay, so now we have 3 bodies, okay? The physical body, right? That's a physical consciousness before the Saturn return. That's a certain stage of life, right? From 0 to 30. Then let's say from 30 to 60. Then we're going to go into the planetary body. That represents the planet, the avatar for the planet. The body is the avatar for the planet from which the celestial house came, okay? Let's say Capricorn represented by Saturn. The person represents Saturn. They represent that avatar. Their body represents the avatar. No, their planetary body, for which their body is an avatar, is Saturn. Let's say they're Leo. The avatar for which their body represents their their planetary avatar for which their physical body represents or is the sun, right? Let's say if we got Aries, their physical body with their planetary body for which their physical body represents and their consciousness is represented by Pluto, right? Okay, so the physical body and the celestial or the physical body and the planetary body are the same, right? It's just different forms of that body, right? Okay, one being a planetary body and the avatar for it being on Earth is the physical body, right? Okay, now, as we said, The second Saturn return represents the planetary body, preparing one to act and teaches one to prepare for the celestial body. But let's say that from the first before the Saturn return, life is preparing them for the first Saturn return. Second Saturn return is preparing them for the third. So they're always ahead. They're always, living consciously advanced, right? Ahead, looking ahead. Okay, now that's why the person's got to always be busy, right? Okay, now we did the physical body. I mean the celestial, the second Saturn return representing the planetary body. Now the third Saturn return represents the what? It represents the celestial body. Now, what is the celestial body? The celestial body is the house that the body came from. It's the celestial house that the planetary body represents, that the physical body represents, and the physical body and the celestial body, and the planetary body are avatars, right? They're avatars for the celestial body. What is the celestial body? The celestial body is the house from which the planetary body represents, for which the physical body represents, right? The earthly body represents, right? Okay, now, when the person is in their third Saturn return, they're, right? They are being prepared to return to their celestial body, right? That's what the third Saturn return is, prepares one for their, departure and their return to their celestial house, right? Their celestial body from which they came. The energy goes back to energy, right? Okay, now, but they're still conscious, right? It's still conscious energy, right? Now, so, okay, let me get this back. Okay. Okay, it's not what I want. Come on, do it right. Let me see. No, it's not doing it. Okay. Now, okay. Okay, so it prepares them for transitioning back into their celestial house, their celestial body, right? From whence they came. And that's why you had the people of Kemet always prepared on the afterlife. They always prepared for the afterlife because they knew they were going to return to the place from whence they had came, right? They didn't focus on this life. They graduated with their life, and that's why they were so interested in the planetary bodies and how the heavens operated, because they knew from whence they had came and they knew from whence they would return. Okay? So each stage of their Saturn returns prepares them for a greater aspect of life. Just like now we're going through we're getting ready to go through, well, we just went through the door, right? And we left one consciousness, 150,000 celestial yesteryear, to enter a higher dimension of consciousness, right? Okay, so the Saturn returns prepares us for a higher stage of consciousness, right? Okay. Now, and you'll know where you are in your Saturn returns based upon, your age, right? Okay. So, Now, as I said, the third Saturn return should prepare one for their celestial homecoming and a grand family reunion with their loved ones and their great ancestors, because the great ancestors, they don't die. They don't die. You'll see them when you get to the other side. And Islam has said that when the person gets to the other side, those people, let's say a family member, when they transition from this life, their family members will all gather around them and asking them, how is this person doing? How's that person doing? What's this person been up to? What they want to know what their family members are doing on earth, while they're still alive. Those who transition will be asking about those who are still embodied on earth, right, in the physical body. Now, also, when you see them in your visions, in your, I call it sleep wake. When you see them in your sleep wake, right, then you will, you can communicate with them, right? Now, another thing about the other side too is that it's like, when you are sleeping, that's when you're awake. When you come back in this world is when you're asleep, right? That's why when you trans back into this world, you don't remember what happened over there because you fall asleep. So you don't know what's going on. We're going to go to video 3.